The first Roman rocket tore through the sky in 287 AD, igniting an imperial dream that would burn across the solar system. Powered by a revolutionary steam and gunpowder engine, the vessel carried Emperor Diocletian's most audacious engineers beyond Earth's atmosphere. Roman legions terraformed planetary surfaces, turning Mercury's scorching plains into foundries, Venus into training grounds, and Mars into a fortified military stronghold. The solar system became a testament to Rome's boundless ambition. Every planet became a province, and every moon a conquest. Rome conquered the Earth, then abandoned it. By 340 AD, its empire stretched across the solar system. Mars became the seat of its war machine, where generals ruled fortress cities and gladiators fought in amphitheaters carved into crimson deserts. Jupiter's moons bore shrines to Jupiter Optimus Maximus, with priests reading omens in the gas giant's storms. Pax Romana spread to the outer planets as millions were moved to the stars, their lives dictated by conquest, spectacle, and sacrifice. On Earth, the eternal city stood silent. Romans no longer looked to Earth. The stars were their empire. Rome's ambition eclipsed the Earth, ruling the solar system with steam and steel. But in the shadowed forests of northern Europe, the Visigoths uncovered what Rome had forgotten. Warlords turned scholars charted orbital trajectories, while smiths forged solar furnaces that drank from the sun itself, converting light into boundless power. In hidden foundries beneath ancient oaks and mountain strongholds, they built ships clad in dark iron and raw ambition. Warriors ascended the metal decks, destiny burning in their eyes. Their vessels rose from Earth's surface in a storm of fire and fury. When the Romans looked to the stars, the Visigoths were already there. From the crimson spires of Novas Roma on Mars, Roman sentinels watched in mounting dread as 10,000 Visigoth warships rose from the abandoned Earth below. The Senate scrambled to recall its legions from Jupiter's moons and Neptune's ice cities. But centuries of bureaucracy had made the empire's wheels turn slow. As reports flooded into the barbarians' numbers, senators whispered of Cannae, where Hannibal had encircled and slaughtered 8 Roman legions in a single day. On the walls of Novas Roma, astral legionnaires gripped their weapons and waited. But as the Visigoth ships darkened Mars' crimson skies, Rome's generals realized all too late why Earth's silence had lasted so long. Rome's grip on Mars faltered as Visigoth warships descended, unleashing endless hordes of warriors onto the red planet's surface. Roman cannons thundered in defiance, cutting down ranks of barbarian invaders. Yet the Empire's forces, stretched thin and exhausted, could not hold the line. The relentless hordes surged forward, crushing the defenders in wave after brutal wave. The Visigoths stormed the walls, their sheer numbers breaking through defenses in ferocious assaults. Fortress cities crumbled, banners burned, and the imperial eagle was cast down and trampled into the Martian dust. As the last Roman resistance flickered and died, the skies above darkened. An alien fleet came into view, each ship bearing the spoils of 1,000 conquered worlds. A single message rang out to the shattered armies below. The Mongols had arrived. Mars was a graveyard. The Romans and the Visigoths had been crushed beneath the Mongol advance, and in the ruins of the battlefield, the great Khan's armada loomed like predators at rest. But like all predators, they would soon hunger again. The Mongols knew their victory was incomplete. Roman fleets still operated beneath Europa's icy shell, where strange energies pulsed, and Mongol scout ships vanished without a trace. Yet the Khan dismissed these reports from the outer dark. His eyes were fixed on a greater prize. The conquest of humanity's cradle could not wait. When Mars fell, Rome did not die, but found new glory beneath Europa's frozen sea. In vast pressurized chambers, the Romans built impossible wonders. Fortified forums echoed with senatorial thunder, while automata machines hummed in submarine factoriums. Aqua temples rose from abyssal depths, their statues inscribed with tales of red Mars and sworn oaths of vengeance against the Mongol horde. Deep in Europa's icy waters, Rome's legions forged their resurrection, awaiting the hour of their return. The Mongols thrived on Mars. Nomadic encampments spread to every corner of the crimson wastes, their caravans moving as one with the rhythm of the red planet. The vast deserts became their training grounds, where armored horses, clad in exoskeletons, carried riders across the low-gravity plains. In the Great Khan's camps, metallurgists extracted tungsten from Mars' core, forging weapons of planetary annihilation. Under shrines to Tengri, warriors swore oaths to the eternal blue sky, preparing for Earth, the final conquest. Humanity had fractured across the solar system. Rome cowered beneath Europa's ice. Mongol armies dominated Mars. And on Earth, a new technological revolution was underway. In China, Tang Dynasty engineers developed airships powered by massive gyroscopes, hydraulic computation machines, and navigation instruments derived from water clocks. When they first left Earth's atmosphere, Tang astronomers detected unusual patterns in Mars' orbit. Yet just as they braced for threats from above, reports arrived of mechanical armies massing in Persia to the west. Rome's flight to the stars left a power vacuum in Eurasia. The Persians filled it with fire and innovation. In the imperial capital of Ctesiphon, scholars and engineers of the Zoroastrian priesthood crafted colossal brass beasts with steam-powered limbs, levitating fortresses, and vast calculation engines that could solve the mysteries of the heavens. As reports arrived of Tang dynasty achievements in the east, the Sassanids accelerated their work, knowing their dominion on Earth could not last forever. The Great Khan gave the order. Mongol warships orbiting Earth's atmosphere released their payloads. Tungsten rods that accelerated through gravity's pull, striking the surface like man-made meteors, tearing open the Earth. Tsunamis devoured coastlines. Earthquakes ripped continents apart. Storms of burning debris blackened the sky. Through the apocalyptic haze, desperate ships pierced the atmosphere. Tang and Sassanid vessels carrying Earth's last survivors, scattering to the stars as their world burned below. Humanity lay scattered across the stars. At its heart, Earth lay dead, a ball of molten rock shrouded in eternal night. 4 ancient empires held the species' fate in their hands. On Mars, the Great Khan's realm splintered into warring clans, each claiming fragments of their dying world. On Europa, Roman ingenuity thrived beneath the ice, their influence spreading across Jupiter's moons. The asteroid belts became host to the Tang dynasty fleets, their supplies dwindling with each passing day. At the rings of Saturn, Persian expeditionary vessels pursued legends of doorways between stars. And from the darkness beyond, ancient vessels silently observed humanity's great diaspora. After centuries in space, Rome had been transformed. Emperor Justinian VI held court in sacred basilicas, where priests debated quantum mysteries, studied exotic particles, and read omens in Jupiter's storm. The empire spread across the gas giant's moons, building golden domes that housed temples, forges, and halls of celestial contemplation. They crafted weapons from stellar fire, harnessed energy from dimensional rifts, and infused their legions with divine purpose. From his submerged throne, Admiral Tacitus planned Mars's reconquest. The old empire had died. A divine Rome had risen. The Persian fleet drifted through deep space, their world destroyed behind them. Their temple ships housed libraries of ancient wisdom, where Zoroastrian priests studied cosmic patterns and quantum mathematics, searching for paths between stars. In Saturn's rings, they detected a gateway between worlds. The Sassanid High Council gathered in the observation dome as reality split open before them, revealing a swirling portal to the unknown. Without Earth, they had one choice. The fleet entered the wormhole, and the universe blinked. After Earth's fall, the Tang dynasty found refuge in the asteroid belt. Their engineers terraformed barren rocks into thriving cities, while their scientists cultivated vast algae farms that sustained them. Each resource was precious. Water was recycled endlessly, and power rationed to the milliwatt. They watched Mongol warships prowl Mars through telescope arrays, knowing their own survival grew more precarious each day. Then something appeared at the edge of their senses. Vessels of impossible age and origin, emerging from the dark. The Holy Roman Empire hungered for war. Rome burned with celestial fury, its legions now led by warrior priests, its ships powered by Jupiter's storms. Admiral Tacitus commanded 10,000 vessels from his flagship Byzantium, their weapons primed for holy slaughter. As Mongol tribes tore each other apart in civil war on Mars, the moment for conquest had come. Tacitus gave the order. The Roman fleet would thread through the asteroid belt, hidden until the final approach. Rome would render Mars unto God. A ghost from Earth's past emerged from deep space. Tang ambassadors watched from their asteroid stronghold as an ancient vessel approached their outer dock. With depleted defenses, they had only one choice, and transmitted a welcome signal. What stepped through the airlock sent ripples of shock through the observation deck. A being both primitive and advanced, a shadow of humanity's origins. A Neanderthal. For the first time in 40,000 years, humans and Neanderthals stood face to face. Within the Tang dynasty's observatory, eager ambassadors gathered around their otherworldly visitor as he began to speak. Long ago, the two species lived in harmony, reveling in Earth's primordial bounty. But humans evolved into something terrifying. A voracious species, driven by endless hunger, spreading across continents, devouring everything in their path. As humans became Earth's apex predators, their violence was no longer driven by hunger, but by some primal wicked mutation, a deep propensity to consume, to subjugate, to conquer. With extinction imminent, Earth's remaining Neanderthals fled through the great arc into hyperspace, building thriving civilizations around distant suns. All the while they watched Earth from afar, hoping their homeland might change. Instead, they witnessed its total annihilation. Standing before the Tang dynasty's ambassadors, The Neanderthal emissary offered salvation with one condition: to transcend their primal hunger for violence and join their Neanderthal kin in the greater cosmos. From the windows of the observatory, Roman warships emerged from the darkness. From his command bridge, Admiral Tacitus watched the stars blur past him. Mars awaited, but something else caught his eye. Movement among the asteroids, ornate structures carved into the rocks, bearing ancient Tang Dynasty markings. His order came without hesitation. 10,000 warships opened fire as one. Solar ballistas cleaved through ancient rock. Fusion torpedoes burst in devastating chains. Cities crumbled into nothingness, and the asteroids themselves ignited, molten rock and metal erupting in all directions. When the carnage settled, only fragments remained. Obstacle eliminated, the Roman fleet resumed its march on Mars. The Red Planet sprawled beneath the Roman fleet. Below, Mongol clans tore themselves apart in civil war, unaware of what approached. On the surface, Khan Subutai saw the warships too late. First came the solar ballistas, turning fortress cities into vapor. Then fusion spears rained down, shattering defensive shields. Mongol vessels, barely breaking through the atmosphere, disintegrated against Roman firepower. Their once mighty technology now seemed primitive, like arrows against artillery. In hours, Mars burned again. Where Mongol strongholds had stood, only glass craters remained. Tacitus surveyed the ruins of the old Roman capital. Soon they would rebuild, as it was written in the time of Augustus. So it would be until the death of the final star. All roads lead to Rome, even those paved with stardust. Rome's victory echoed across the abyss. But while Tacitus celebrated among Mars' ruins, older empires had long since touched the stars. At the universe's edge, crystal cities gleamed beneath alien suns. Golden arcs phased between dimensions, and vessels gifted by cosmic beings sailed through distant nebulae. Ships of living metal sang to unknown stars, as ancient civilizations watched Rome's petty war for a single solar system, knowing their time of isolation drew to an end. The known solar system was but a single port in an endless sea, and in the vast depths beyond, humanity's oldest children were stirring. The Mayans reached the stars in 847 BC, their ships ascending from the temples of the Yucatan into murky realms beyond. Blessed by Kukulkan and guided by celestial prophecy, they surged past the boundaries of Earth's meager solar system into the infinite dark. There they established outposts on distant worlds, raising stepped pyramids beneath alien suns, and constructing temples that mapped the cosmos itself. Their seers charted paths through space that other civilizations wouldn't discover for millennia, transforming unknown stars into a network of sacred sites. While humanity fought over worlds circling a single star, the Mayans had already mapped 1,000 suns. As armies clashed across India's kingdoms in 520 BC, the Gupta Empire looked to Brahma's infinite cosmos for salvation. Their mathematicians had unlocked the secrets of zero and infinity, enabling them to fold the fabric of space-time itself. Great golden arcs carried millions to the stars of Alpha Centauri, where they raised cities of marble and brass on alien worlds. Temple spires rose on a dozen planets, while their instruments kept watch on distant Earth, knowing that others would soon too pierce the heavens. While Rome celebrated its petty conquests, the children of Brahma prepared for the coming storm. Humanity had always known they weren't alone in the universe. They simply lacked the means to prove it until the visitors arrived. From the endless dark came enormous beetles, who chose the sands of ancient Egypt as their sanctuary. These cosmic architects raised the pyramids as celestial beacons, bestowed their vessels and knowledge upon the pharaohs, then vanished into the depths of space. The Egyptians followed their teachers beyond the known universe, leaving behind only whispered legends of their departure. Now they watch from the cosmic depths as ancient empires surge toward war, knowing their peaceful exile must soon end. In 146 BC, as Roman legions marched on Carthage, Boeotarch Hasdrubal readied his city for exodus. Within the Carthaginian port, engineers had discovered fragments of Egyptian stellar technologies, ancient propulsion mechanisms forgotten by time. They forged vessels of brilliant alloys that could pierce the boundaries of space. The night before Rome's final assault, 300 ships carried the people of Carthage into the heavens, leaving their burning city behind. They drift now beyond known stars, calculating the hour of their return. 200 Persian ships tore through the fabric of space-time. When space steadied again, twin suns painted their fleet in amber light. Below, a desert world beckoned, familiar yet alien. Here, the bones of fallen titans breached sand dunes like the ribs of dead gods. Crystalline obelisks dotted the landscape, their runes depicting tales of empire and exodus. Empty cities stretched to the horizon, their streets thick with centuries of dust. In the shadows of vast ruins, they found messages carved in languages older than Earth itself. This world hadn't been abandoned. It had been harvested. When Roman warships appeared on the horizon, the Tang dynasty braced for annihilation. It was in these final moments of peril that their Neanderthal saviors offered them an escape. The Neanderthal world bore witness to humanity's lost future. Mountain observatories cast shadows over forests that had never known the axe, while herds of mammoth and auroch grazed the valleys below. Vast libraries sprawled beneath enduring forests, their halls echoing with 40 millennia of peaceful contemplation. Yet in the Neanderthals' endless study of reality, they had reached a devastating conclusion. To exist was to suffer. To think was to know loss. To live was to experience an endless cascade of agonies. Each awareness a prison of flesh and thought. Each consciousness condemned to experience the same wounds across infinite iterations. The universe was not a cradle of wonder, but an engine of eternal anguish that ground all beings to dust, only to birth them again into new suffering. The Neanderthals believed they had found an answer, one that required the Tang's mastery of engineering to achieve. Together they could end existence itself, not through destruction, but transcendence, the final dissolution of the cosmic cycle. Having watched Earth burn, the Tang were quick to embrace this mission of universal liberation. Their work would take time, but the Neanderthals had come prepared. They had already identified which civilizations might advance quickly enough to threaten their calculations. These would be eliminated first. The Great Mercy would begin with extinction. Beneath twin suns, the Persian fleet sat anchored among the ruins of a dead world, where an ancient civilization had vanished without trace. No signs of war, no evidence of exodus. Persian archaeologists were still tracing worn hieroglyphs when electromagnetic interference flooded their instruments. Above them, massive obsidian shapes cut through the atmosphere, perfect geometric forms against darkening skies. In their final moments, as shadows claimed the horizon, they sent one last distress signal out towards the stars. The harvesters had returned. The Mayan capital of Ixchel Prime housed 10 million souls, its astronomical networks monitoring half the known galaxy. In the orbital rings above, warrior priests trained for conflicts they hoped would never come. The Astronomical Council gathered in the observatory temple of Itzamna. Their deep space probes had detected planets vanishing along the Perseus arm, and a Persian distress signal had just confirmed their worst fears. The priests of Kukulkan had maintained their isolation for centuries, avoiding the wars that raged across space. But this threat was different. Breaking their silence, they transmitted warnings to three surviving powers: the quantum theorists of Gupta, the Egyptian Beetle Empire, and the vengeful fleets of Carthage. The pattern of extinction was spreading. Hannibal VIII stood at the observation deck of his command spire in Neo-Carthage. The marble cities of their home world had grown vast and powerful, their technologies now rivaling those of the Roman Empire. 10,000 warships waited in orbit around Dido Prime, ready to fulfill their ancestors' oath of vengeance. When an urgent signal arrived from distant Maya astronomers, a warning of a cosmic threat that demanded immediate counsel, Hannibal made his choice. A diplomatic vessel would make the journey to their coordinates, but the rest of the Carthaginian fleet would begin its long-planned advance toward Mars, where Roman power lay exposed. Even with their newest quantum drives, the journey would take years, but Carthage had waited centuries for this moment. Heirs to India's golden age, the Gupta Empire now sprawled across 15 worlds, with 8 billion souls orbiting around a solitary dwarf star. The capital city of Soma Prime vibrated with the resonance of temple bells and the electromagnetic hum of sacred observatories, where astral equations merged with Vedic wisdom to chart their cosmic path. Interplanetary currents carried merchants between worlds, while physicists debated in weightless chambers and scholars merged quantum discoveries with Sanskrit verses. Street processions mirrored the rhythm of the stars, a testament to traditions that had long survived the great exodus from Earth. When the Mayan signal shattered centuries of silence, Emperor Chandragupta understood its dire meaning. Only a grave existential threat would force the Mayas out of their isolation. The Yagna fires were lit, and the Gupta emissary fleet was deployed at once. Beyond their borders, another world vanished into eternal darkness. At the galaxy's frayed edges, the Egyptian Beetle Empire carved a world of opposing devotions. Their civilizations split between sun-drenched temples and subterranean sanctuaries. Surface structures captured the star's first and final rays, while deeper tunnels burrowed toward the planet's core, tracing sacred geometries through living rock. Humans and beetles moved together through this vertical world, surface dwellers and deep-core architects united by a singular purpose. They were survivors, forged by witnessing the collapse of countless civilizations. They understood that preservation was not a choice, but the only path to continued existence. When the Mayan distress signal reached them, The joint council convened within the resonant chamber. The eldest beetle took to the floor and shared an age-old fable. Long ago, a scorpion wished to cross a river, but could not swim across, and so it asked a nearby frog to help it make the passage. The frog refused, fearing the scorpion's sting, but the scorpion argued that stinging the frog would doom them both. And so, persuaded by this logic, the frog agreed to carry the scorpion across the river on its back. As they began to cross the river, the scorpion then stung the frog. As they both began to sink, the frog asked why it had done such a foolish thing. The scorpion had no answer beyond the unchangeable truth of its nature. It simply couldn't help itself. The waters closed over them both, and neither creature reached the distant shore. Humanity, the beetle warned, is a scorpion. To answer the Mayan call would invite destruction, as surely as the scorpion's sting. The council concluded that they would ignore the Mayan call. Their isolation had shielded them for millennia, and it would do so again. Far above, worlds were vanishing, devoured by an unseen hunger sweeping through star systems. As entire civilizations began to disappear, the Mayan, Carthaginian, and Gupta empires raced to mount a unified response. Meanwhile, a Carthaginian battle fleet surged toward Mars, blind to the greater threat consuming their universe. As these events unfolded, Rome's deep space sensors detected what the Maya had already discovered: entire star systems vanishing without trace. Emperor Valentinian IX understood the gravity of this threat. Over decades, his engineers had built vast networks of spatial distortion arrays around every planet to shield their empire from detection. At his command, these machines activated, cloaking the entire solar system in artificial darkness, rendering every trace of Roman civilization invisible to the cosmos. But in the infinite depths beyond, something ancient and patient continued to hunt. The Neanderthals had become the hunters they once feared, consuming entire civilizations with brutal efficiency. Tang engineers swarmed through the Egyptian beetle ruins, harvesting quantum drives and stellar cores from the gutted ruins of the fallen empire. Yet uncertainty plagued their command center. Not only had Rome vanished from the grid, but other unknown powers still lurked in the cosmic depths, their strength and numbers a dangerous liability. The hunt would need to continue, and so the Neanderthals drafted a plan. From their distant outpost on Helios 7, they would broadcast a desperate plea for help, knowing that any civilization answering the call would inadvertently reveal their existence and location in the universe. Those who came to offer aid would instead mark themselves for extinction. In a distant galaxy, their beacon began to pulse. The high priest of Kukulkan raised his hand, and the orbital gates above opened to welcome those who had answered the Maya's call. In vast chambers beneath Ixchel Prime, the lords of Carthage and Gupta shared with the Mayas grim revelations of civilizations erased from existence. Past conflicts seemed petty now, in the shadow of total annihilation. Then came the distress beacon from Helios 7. With no time for debate, they dispatched their greatest warships to investigate the signal. 3 battle fleets thundered across the horizon, unknowingly sealing their doom. Through the azure mists of Helios 7, the Maya, Gupta, and Carthaginian envoys approached a lone bunker, the source of the desperate distress signal. A Tang hologram materialized before the envoy and greeted them. The hologram asked what other civilizations might join them. They were all that's left, they said, and only Rome lay hidden. Then the hologram revealed its grand plan, the systematic erasure of all existence. Horrified by the hologram's revelation, the ambassadors transmitted emergency signals through space-time, each burst inadvertently pinpointing their homeworld's location. The trap had been sprung, and their signals were now tracked. In its final act, the hologram triggered the bunker's detonation sequence, and a massive atomic explosion obliterated the envoy in an instant. The Neanderthal fleet obliterated 5,000 years of Carthaginian civilization in an instant. First came the solar lances, fiery missiles that tore into Carthage's sun, igniting catastrophic solar flares that set the heavens ablaze. Planetary shields melted under waves of solar fire. Then the artillery ships arrived, tearing asteroids from orbit and hurling them at Neo-Carthage with unstoppable force. Their purple cities, quantum foundries, and dreams of expansion across the stars were all atomized in a single brutal bombardment. As their sensors confirmed the Empire's complete destruction, the Neanderthal ships turned as one. Ahead lay the bastions of the Maya and Gupta, next in line for annihilation. 10,000 Carthaginian warships surged toward Rome. But as Hannibal VIII stood on his command deck, dire news arrived. Their home world, along with those of the Maya and Gupta, had been utterly obliterated. Their fleet remained all that was left of the Tri-Alliance. With the destruction came a final fleeting transmission from Helios 7. The Neanderthal clan behind these attacks was constructing a device to end existence itself. Carthaginian scanners pinpointed the source of destruction, massive gravitational distortions emanating from a distant system. In that moment, Hannibal's choice became clear. Rome would have to wait. With a single command, 10,000 ships altered course to confront the architects of oblivion. The Roman armada lay in wait above Mars, primed to ambush the Carthaginian fleet. Aboard the Imperial Scorpion flagship, Emperor Valentinian IX studied the radar display. He watched as Hannibal's fleet abruptly altered course, bound towards a vast energy signature at the edge of known space. 5,000 Roman warships emerged from stealth, fusion drives blazing as they launched in pursuit. Ancient enemies now surged together into the cosmic dark, toward a confrontation that would determine the fate of all remaining life. Universal annihilation lay within reach. Deep within their fortress world, the Neanderthal-Tang Alliance monitored their cosmic nullifier, a machine designed to unravel the very foundations of reality. Their final calculations were nearly complete, and to their knowledge, no advanced civilizations remained to oppose them. Yet their sensors, fixed upon their grand machine, missed two vast armadas cutting through deep space. The vengeful fleet of Carthage surged toward them, pursued by the full might of Rome, as the countdown to oblivion began. Death arrived without warning in the cold black of space. 10,000 Carthaginian warships burst from hyperspace like vengeful ghosts, their opening salvo atomizing the Neanderthal sentries before the enemy could raise its shields. Plasma torpedoes carved molten wounds through armored hulls, while antimatter beams reduced Neanderthal vessels to dust, until the last enemy ships split apart in a flower of burning wreckage. Amidst the orbital carnage, Carthaginian scanners pierced the planet's mantle, revealing a vast labyrinth of tunnels, pulsing with dubious power signatures. As Hannibal's dropships punched through the atmosphere toward the planet's mysterious depths, his elite guards steeled themselves for the horrors that waited in the abyss below. At that precise moment, a shockwave rippled through space. Rome had revealed its hand, and the full weight of the Imperial Armada materialized from stealth above the Carthaginian fleet. Centuries of bitter enmity erupted into apocalyptic fury as Rome and Carthage collided at the universe's edge. The Roman Armada emerged from stealth, unleashing waves of hellfire upon Hannibal's exposed flank. Space itself was caught ablaze as quantum weapons shattered shields and ignited reactor cores, scattering smoldering debris in every direction. Humanity's oldest enemies, locked in their last catastrophic embrace, would finally settle their blood debt among the stars. From the command bridge of the Scorpion flagship, Emperor Valentinian IX and Admiral Tacitus watched Rome's perfect ambush descend into savage entropy. Tactics crumbled in seconds. Doctrine meant nothing. Aerial strategy dissolved into primal fury. Warships rammed warships at point-blank range, while crews battled with plasma axes through ruptured hulls. The last great empires of humanity had abandoned precision for raw devastation. Yet amid the carnage, Tacitus's eyes locked onto Hannibal's golden dropships piercing the atmosphere below. Destiny would be settled on the ground. While Rome and Carthage painted the stars in shades of red, Tacitus led his shock troops through the storm of battle toward the planet's surface. All the while, in those ancient tunnels below, sealed for millennia beneath layers of rock and silence, the doomsday clock ticked forward. Mere seconds remained until midnight. The cosmic nullifier roared to life, blaring the song of oblivion. The moment of universal collapse drew near. As warning sirens screamed through the facility, Tang engineers worked furiously, every keystroke bringing the device closer to activation. Through security feeds, Neanderthal guards watched as the enemy carved deeper into their tunnels. Carthaginian forces barreled through security checkpoints, flattening defenses, advancing ever closer to the inner sanctum. The Neanderthal commander rallied his warriors. They would fall today, but if they held the enemy back long enough, the universe would fall with them. With a solemn nod to his Tang allies, the commander stepped through the airlocks. His warriors followed, vanishing into the darkness. The tunnels erupted in chaos. Plasma bolts ripped through the smoke. Detonations shook the passageways, and bodies slammed against shattered stone. Neanderthal fury met Carthaginian steel, neither side yielding as the battle raged through the depths. Still, the Carthaginians pressed forward, stepping over the fallen, tearing through resistance, driving toward the core. Then behind them, Roman war cries rose in the darkness. Hannibal's forces breached the Neanderthals' inner sanctum. The final blast doors buckled and fell, revealing a chamber bathed in the pulsing glow of the cosmic nullifier. The last Tang skirmishers fell in a brief, desperate firefight. Only the engineers remained at their consoles, as if the battle around them meant nothing. Hannibal and his men stood transfixed by the machine before them, an artifact of impossible science. Every instinct screamed that it must be stopped. The ensuing explosion came without warning. Smoke and fire swallowed the air. When it cleared, Hannibal stood alone. His men lay lifeless around him. Hannibal turned as Tacitus and his legionnaires advanced towards him, weapons raised. Hannibal's hand reached out, his voice carrying the weight of centuries. "Brother," he called to his oldest enemy, "this is the end, not just of our war, but of all wars. 1,000 years of vengeance, of empires burning across the stars, of children carrying their father's hatred into the void. None of it mattered now. Their nature had led them here, but it need not sting them. In this last moment, they could choose to be more than their ancestors' sons. Everything hung in the balance. This was their last chance to stop the machine. Tacitus drove his dagger into Hannibal's chest. Hannibal staggered, then crumpled to the floor. Beneath the cosmic nullifier, a Tang engineer met his compatriot's eyes. He grasped the activation switch and pulled it down. The machine awakened. Time froze. The universe went dark. And then there was light.